Hi there. Let me just check your name. So it's Glenn, right?
Yes.
Where are you, Glenn?
In Barcelona.
Very nice. How's it? How's the weather there today?
It's all right. It was sunnier earlier. It's a bit cloudy now.
Is it? I bet it's much warmer than here, though.
Where are you based? I'm not sure where you are.
I'm in the UK. So what sort of temperature are you looking at? It was 10 degrees here.
We were up to 20 odd today. So yes.
Lovely. So at least you can go out without a big winter coat on.
Yeah.
Hello, Tatiana. Where are you?
Hi, so I'm in St. Petersburg, Russia.
Oh, lovely. One of my favorite places in the world. Beautiful.
Oh, I'm glad to know.
Now, I talked to someone from Moscow last week and they said it was snowing. So how is it for you?
Yeah, so the same here, but luckily now it's just raining. And that's it. Though the temperature is still not like, May. It's like +6 maybe or 8 degrees.
Yeah, so you're not far behind us.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Lucille, hello.
Hello.
Where are you?
I'm in Seville, in Andalusia.
In Seville?
Yeah.
Lovely, beautiful
30.
city. Fantastic. Should we just give it another minute just to see if anyone else joins us this afternoon? So have you finished teaching now, or have you got more lessons later on? Anybody can respond, I don't mind who. Tatiana?
Now I finished my teaching for today, and actually now in Russia it's a kind of a holiday time, and that is why lots of people are not working now. So public holidays, May holidays.
For how long?
Until the 11th of May, starting from the 1st.
Oh, wow, that's a really long holiday.
Yeah, but I'm not on holiday. I'm still working.
Oh.
I'm still busy.
Oh, that's a shame. But you've got weekend. Are you working at the weekend?
Yeah, so tomorrow I'm working too.
Okay. How about you, Glenn? Working tomorrow?
Yeah, well, I'm not actually a teacher. I direct a centre, so
okay.
I'm in charge of choosing the books as well. And one of the books we've chosen for next course is Formula. So I was recommended to join this session to learn a little bit about the book.
I'm going to work you hard a bit today. I'm sorry. Apologies for that. Lovely. And Lucille, are you going to be teaching later?
No, but correcting C1 writings.
Oh gosh, how many do you have?
6 left.
They take ages though, don't they?
Yeah, it takes ages. It takes for me 30 minutes for a writing, because I'm never I need to be sure that I'm giving the correct marks, so it takes a while.
Yeah. It's not necessarily the thing we want to be doing on a Friday night, is it? But it has to be done. It has to be done. Hello, Lyubov.
Nice to see you.
Hello there. Can I just check my pronunciation? Lyubov.
Yeah, it's okay. So I'm happy to be with you.
And you too. Where are you? Where are you?
I'm in Moscow. So it's all a Russian Library for Foreign Literature.
Yes. Fabulous.
The heart of Moscow.
Wonderful. Natalia, where are you?
Hi. Hello. I'm in Warsaw, Poland.
Okay. Fantastic. So we've got a nice spread of locations covered then. Thank you very much for giving up your time. Right, let's crack on then. So I'm Lindsay Warwick and I'm one of the authors of Formula, and so I'll be your teacher today, and you'll be obviously pretending to be students. Thank you very much. So just to start off though with a little bit of information about what it is that we're doing today, the purpose of it all, and so on. Basically, housekeeping information to tick that off. So this session is being recorded. You will receive a link to the recording, and you will get a personalised certificate within 72 hours of the event. And it will also give you access to some Formula sample packs, so you'll be able to have a little bit of a look at it. If you're not familiar with it, you'll be able to look at your own leisure. But this is part of a series of sessions that we're doing to kind of tell people about Formula. So it's Pearson's new exam course, and Joe Hunter gave a session back in April about really sort of providing you with information about what Formula is all about. And I think the key selling point really is that it's designed to be incredibly flexible, so that you can build blocks and create a course for different lengths of course, but also different learning objectives or different course objectives to really suit the needs of your learners. This particular session is part of the experience. So the idea is that you experience Formula as if you were students, so you get to see what it's all about from that perspective. And then I'll be following it up with a session which is more about methodology in a couple of weeks, really looking at the sort of methodology behind being flexible on courses and looking at how we can be flexible when we're creating lessons and adapting material and so on. So we've been looking today, we've been teaching, in fact, this is the second batch we've been doing. So Billy and I together have taught 4 different lessons. So you will be able to get links to the others if you haven't attended those. So you might, for example, have a course that is super intensive. You've only got 30 hours and it's just literally about getting the students through the exam. So here are the exam tasks and here's how you approach them. But on the other end of the scale, you might have an extensive course where you have maybe 100 hours and you have a lot more time to do other things. This particular lesson is semi-intensive. So the thinking is that you've got 60 to 80 hours on your course. And so you do have a little bit of time to not just develop exam strategies, but also help learners to develop language knowledge, language use, and to be able to develop their skills as well. So reading, writing, listening and speaking. So it's not just, you know, giving them test practice, but it's actually upping their level of language in general. So the learning objectives for this particular lesson then are that by the end of the lesson, students will be better able to form adjectives using these particular suffixes. And they'll also be able to form verbs using over and under. And also they'll be able to bring all of that together and be better able to complete a reading and use of English part 3 word formation task. So this is for B2 first, so that's the level. Now we're not going to achieve all of those learning objectives in the next 35 or so minutes. So we'll be doing part of the lesson and then I'll talk you through how I would complete the lesson with my students. For this particular session, I'm going to be using, because it's a semi-intensive course, I'm going to be using the course book with the exam file. And this is the component that comes in the back of the course book, which is a sort of pull-out book with some additional material in. So you'll see in the lesson what I'm using. So I'm using the lesson from the course book and material from the exam file. And of course, I've used the teacher's book and the notes to prepare the lesson and got some tips from there. And I'll also be using the Pearson English portal as well as we check answers and that kind of thing. Now, you did get a handout in the email that Anya sent to you, but if you don't have that to hand, then Anya will share in the chat box. She will share with you, hopefully in a moment, a link to that particular material. But I can do that for you if she might have nipped off somewhere. So yeah, let me come out of this and I'll share it with you. So this takes you to exactly the same material. It's a flipbook version of it. There you go. So if you click on that, you'll have the same thing to hand. So what you've got is basically, you've got the front cover of the course book, a page from the course book, a front cover from the exam file and a page from the exam file. Can you just give me a thumbs up if you now have access to that material? Tatiana, have you managed to click on it?
Yes, but I have it printed.
Oh, you have got it. Oh, you're very organized. Good. Okay. Right. So with that in mind, then let's get started. Okay. So I have a message for you. Can you have a look, please? Don't say anything, don't type anything, just have a look. What do you think my message is?
Something like, hello, I'm happy to meet you.
What do we think? Do we agree?
Yeah, so
I'm pleased to meet you.
Pleased. I'm very
Yeah.
pleased now.
Yeah, what's the exclamation mark?
Maybe very extremely.
Very extremely happy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, let's do the next one. This one's more difficult.
Yeah, that's pretty tricky, actually.
I want to test you. I can't be too easy.
Today.
Very good. Yes.
Okay.
I'm talking to you.
Okay. Well, let's do we're. I probably should have had more people. Yeah. We are talking about
Okay, we're talking
Emotions.
Oh, very good.
different
Very good.
emotions.
Emojis, about emojis.
We're talking about emojis, yes.
Okay,
So this lesson comes in a unit, and each unit in this book is a colour. So this is from Unit 8, and it's the colour yellow. So that's the link to the unit topic. Okay, so let's move to the handout that you have. So if you go down to page 2 of your handout, you'll be able to see a survey like the one here. So it's exercise 1 of the second page of the handout after the cover page. And it's emojis and me. And it's a little survey. Now, we're not going to discuss this at great length. You're busy people. So if you can just discuss, I'm going to put you into breakout rooms. Can you please discuss the first and the fifth question, the first and the fifth question? And then if you have time, look at questions 2, 3, or 4, please. But we'll just have a couple of minutes in there, if that's okay. Have you all just thumbs up if that's okay? You've got the material, you know what you're doing? Brilliant, good. Okay, nod ahead, good as well. Right, here we go. So I'll just open 2 rooms. We'll have 3 of you in each room, and I'll drop in and see how you're getting on. the other pair, they were discussing, so we'll just wait for them to come back. Probably take the full time. Do you use emojis very much in your communication? You do, Natalia?
Yeah, I do. 100%. Like, especially as I said, in an informal communication, like on Messenger, like Facebook, Instagram, social media. So a lot of it going on. Yeah.
Lyubov, do you use a lot of emojis?
Yeah, usually to soften my messages. I like it. Some smiles and so on and so forth, just to demonstrate my positive emotions.
Do you use a wide variety?
Sorry, there was a problem with the sound.
Do you use a wide variety? Because I think I just use the same 4 or 5.
Yeah, the same 5 or 6.
Yeah, the most favorite ones. Yeah, kind of.
Chosen beforehand.
Yeah. I must tell you that when I'm writing like Facebook posts, on our school Facebook, then I would use a wider range there. But in communication itself, I would use a very limited set of my favorite ones.
Interesting. Lucille, what did you and Tatiana think about the future of emojis? Are they going to be outdated soon?
Oh, we are positive about that.
Okay.
We don't think they will, because they are more and more common. And I was thinking that maybe the future is to only write with emojis. That I think that language is outdated. Only emojis will prevail.
Interesting. Glenn, you had a really interesting point about the younger generation.
So
you're muted, Glenn.
There, I just said it's possible that younger people might see them as something that older people use, and they might become outdated for that reason, something old-fashioned. But you can't tell with these things, can you? So.
I think it's a really interesting point. I mean, I was reading an article the other day that Generation Z make fun of millennials. So to me, millennials are the younger generation, but of course they're not now. So the younger generation really are making fun of millennials for wearing skinny jeans and, all those sort of things that we associate with young people. And they're apparently they're outdated now. So you never know. We shall see. Okay. If you look at exercise 2 in your handout, you'll see a fact file. There are 5 questions there. Can you just have a look at those questions? And just for 20 seconds, can you see if you know any of the answers or can guess them? Don't speak, just have a think, please. Okay, don't worry if you don't have any idea, it's fine. Natalia, when is World Emoji Day?
No idea. I wanted to check it on Google, but I just managed. Sorry.
No time.
You're going to find out. You're going to find out in a much more difficult way. I'm going to make you listen to something rather than just Google. Lovely.
If I'm not mistaken, it is celebrated in July.
Sorry, can you say that again?
So it is celebrated in July, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Somewhere in the middle of July.
We shall see. Thank you, Libor. Natalia, can you nominate someone for the second question?
I was wondering, Lucille? This is the way to pronounce your name, sorry.
No worries. It's fine, Lucille.
Okay. Sorry.
What's the first emoji used? 90s? In the 90s? I think with only like the dots in the parentheses, right?
Now that's an emoticon. So I think that's different. I think this is talking about the little yellow picture.
I remember them on MSN Messenger. So 1997,
Okay, let's see. Do you want to nominate someone for the third question?
Yeah, Glenn.
Brilliant. Which country was it created in? No idea. Canada, just to say something. I don't know.
Do you want to nominate Tatiana or Lyubov?
Well, then,
Okay.
Tatiana, you can go for it.
Okay, so thanks a lot. How many emojis sent? I guess thousands of them, so a great bunch of them. But
Yeah.
as for the particular number, I have no idea.
Mhm.
So 1,000. We think in the thousands. Okay.
Yes,
lovely.
sure.
Lyubov, do you want to answer the last one? How many emojis are there?
Let it be that is close to 2,000 of them.
2,000.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we shall see. So I'm going to play an extract from a talk about World Emoji Day. Can you listen, please, and answer those 5 questions? They're not all in the order of the recording, so you have to listen quite carefully. Some of them come quite close together at the beginning. Okay. Sorry, let me just move. The Zoom bar drives me mad because it's always where you don't want it.
Yeah.
Wherever it is, it's not the place you want it in. Here we go. Right. Let's just check.
Unit 8.
Can you hear that okay?
Reading and Use of English, Part 3. Exercise 2. Work in pairs and do the quiz. Then listen to an extract from a talk about World Emoji Day and check your answers.
There are a considerable number of celebration days in the year. Mother's Day, Children's Day, World Health Day, so why not a World Emoji Day? Since the first emoji was created in Japan in 1997, these cheeky little icons have come to play a significant part in how we communicate. More than 5 billion emojis are sent on Facebook's Messenger every day. So, it's understandable that they have their own special day. And the date? It's the 17th of July, and there's an apparent reason for this. It's the date that features on the actual calendar emoji. So what happens on World Emoji Day? Well, unsurprisingly, it's celebrated mainly online, where people tweet and vote on favourite emojis, etc. These days, people have over 3,000 to choose from. Last year's choice wasn't my favourite, which is sleepy, as I usually am. No, it was the one that was named Word of the Year by Oxford Dictionaries back in 2015, the one that shows tears of joy. And on this day, the set of new emojis for the year is also revealed. 230 brand new emojis related to even more feelings, moods, objects, gestures and activities will be available for us to include in our correspondence this coming year. And if you like dressing up, World Emoji Day is an opportunity for an emoji party. So put on your smiley face and enjoy.
Okay, now in the chat box. So we're only a small group, but I'm going to do it this way anyway. In the chat box, can you send me a private message? So not to everyone, but to me, Lindsay Warwick. Can you, if you want to listen again, can you type again? If you don't want to listen again, can you type not again? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. It's surprising how often when you do that, if you don't warn students that the order is different, that they do want to listen again. Okay, thank you very much for that. Right, let's check answers then. So, Natalia, were you correct? Or was Lyubov correct?
Lyubov was correct. She said in July, so it's 17th of July.
And did you were nodding when I know you understood where it comes from.
Yeah, from this calendar emoji that says 17. I was always wondering why this precise date is there, specific date. Yeah, now I know.
Thank you very much. When was the first emoji used? Who answered that one before? Oh, it was Lucille, yes.
And they said it was 1997, so I was right.
You were. I really had to stop myself from smiling when you said that. Because you were guessing, weren't you? Brilliant. And the country, Glenn?
Japan.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And how many emojis, Tatiana?
Oh, it's over 5 billion.
Yeah, so a little bit more than 1,000. So it just
Yeah.
shows how much communication. It's crazy, isn't it? And Lyubov, how many emojis are there?
This is interesting, actually. I think it was mentioned 3,000, and then the 2 other 1,000 would be added to
Not
express.
2,000 would be added, but Lyubov, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah. So 330, if I'm not mistaken, will be added.
Ah,
Two?
Let's have a look. Because I think it was 2.
This year.
Let's go down to the
today, these days we have 3,000. Okay,
200. Sorry.
230 brand new emojis
Okay.
coming available in the coming year. So I think they add them, don't they, regularly to account for different cultures and all kinds of things like that. Yeah. Anything there that surprised you particularly, or what was the most surprising thing?
No, it wasn't surprising again.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. Yeah. I mean, it is a lot of messages, isn't it, where people are using emojis every day. So it is definitely a language in itself. All right, we're going to take some of the sentences from the talk that we just heard, and we're going to look at them in more detail. Okay. So let's focus on this sentence here. There are a number of celebration days. So don't speak just for 5 seconds. Just think, what kind of word is missing from this sentence? Is it a verb, a noun, or an adjective?
Adjective.
Adjective, happy with that? Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, good. It's an adjective. So if we look here at this word consider, is it an adjective? Nod or shake?
No, it's a verb.
It's a verb. Okay, so how can we make this an adjective?
We can add the suffix. Yeah.
Okay.
Able. Yeah. Considerable.
Considerable. Okay, lovely. Is it able or able? Is it with an A or with an I?
A.
Yeah. It's always a tricky one. That I asked that question to a group of British teachers. They were like, "Oh, I don't know." Great. So we can type here. We can type in considerable. Good. All right. Let's go down to these very quickly. So I do this more slowly with students, but let's do it quickly with you. So this is a verb, and here we need an adjective. So how can we make this word into an adjective?
Suffix also.
Tatiana, can you say that again?
Yeah, it's a suffix, so we should add a suffix, so it will be significant.
Thank you very much. So we've added ANT, okay. And then the last one, so last year's choice wasn't my favorite emoji. The speaker's favorite emoji was sleep. Sleepy,
So,
yes.
Yeah, it's also a fixation.
Mm-hmm. So we've added Y. So we've added Y to this. So we're looking at suffixes that change the form of words into adjectives specifically. So with Y and with able and ibble, we've just added it to the words consider, considerable, sleep, sleepy. With signify, we had to also change some letters, didn't we? So we've taken away Y and we've added icant. So we've added a few more. So it's actually a little bit longer than just ANT. We're going to have a look. So if you look at your handout or exercise 4, you'll see that there are some more words here that we're going to add to this table and decide how we form adjectives from them. So which of these suffixes do we add? Now, just in case it's tricky looking at, I know for some people looking at word boxes can be a bit tricky. So I'm just going to scroll down here and copy and paste these words into the chat box. So if you prefer a list, then you might want to have a look at the list in the chat box. However, if not, just look at the layout in your exercise here. So before we do this activity, I just want to check a couple of meanings with you. So the first one is, and I know you know this, but obviously this is what I do with students. So the first one is one of these words, and have a think for 5 seconds. One of these words means to tell somebody something secret.
Confide.
Thank you, Glenn. Yep,
Mhm.
confide, thank you. And one of these words means to get into something, or to get something like information, for example, or to be able to enter a place.
Access.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. Okay, are there any other words there? You're fine with those, but I would ask students if there are any other words there that they're not sure about. Okay. So we're going to do this exercise then. I'd like you to match the words to the columns in the table. And I'd like you to think about and note down which of the words change their spelling. They don't just add the suffix. But I'm going to ask you to do this, please, via word wall. So in the chat box, I'm sharing a link with you. If you can click on the link, I'm going to put you into breakout rooms so you can do it together, if that's okay. And you can do it you can have someone share your screen if you want to do it, or you can just talk about it as you do it together. I'll leave it up to you. All right, do you all have access? Brilliant. So I'll put you back into the breakout rooms. Okay. What's the favourite tool that you use with your students online?
I use a lot WordWall too, and this Bamboozle recently. I play with it a lot too. It's a good one. Yeah, Bamboozle. I can send you the link maybe. It's a funny name.
Bamboozle, yeah, no, it's one of those wonderful English words. The sound of it's lovely, bamboozle.
Yeah, exactly.
Bamboozled, brilliant. Okay, lovely. So well done. Thank you for doing that. So Thank you, Natalia, for sharing that. I'll investigate that this weekend. Okay. So these are all the answers here, or we could actually show them in the, oh no, not there. Here we go. We can actually show them in the boxes here. So which of these words do we change the spelling of? We can't just add the word. Anyone? Lucille, do you want to?
Yeah, access and accessible.
Okay. So we can just add, or we can't, we have to change the spelling.
Oh, the spelling, I'm sorry.
I think it's okay. So where do we need to do something with the spelling when we're adding the suffix? So for example, confident, confidence. We need to change the CE, don't we? So it's slightly different. Yeah. So that would be an example of one. What else changes slightly?
Isn't it the same for convenient?
Mm-hmm.
The same rule.
Yes, we've got the CE. Absolutely. Yeah. Anything else?
Okay, I guess all the words in the first column like follow this rule, so they all change their spelling. So efficiency and violence, violent.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have to look at the spelling for those. What about all these? Can we just add it?
All of them except memorable and recognizable that you have.
So we have to take off the Y and we have to take off the E here. Yeah, absolutely. And what about this column? Any from there?
They're great words.
They are. Just add the Y. You don't have to worry. It's all good.
Yeah, we don't need to think about them.
You don't, exactly. Okay, let's go back to this one. So we've got the list here. I'm showing them in list because they're side by side. Let's have a little think about pronunciation for a minute. So where's the stress on this word here? Is it on the first or the second syllable?
Second
one.
Happy with that? Yeah? Second? Okay. What about in this word? Is it the same or is it different?
The same.
It's the same, yeah. Enjoy, enjoyable.
Enjoyable.
It's the same stress syllable, absolutely. So most of these have the same stress. So certainly all of these with all of the ones with Y, so sport, sporty, storm, stormy. So that's nice and easy. But there are 3 pairs here where the stress changes. Would anyone like to tell me which ones where they change?
Is it an access and accessible?
Accessible.
That's one, yeah. So we've got access on the first syllable, and here it's on the
second.
Good, lovely. What else?
Confide, confident.
You good? Confide, confident. Yeah. Oh, run over a little bit there. That's not so good. Okay. And one more pair. It's in the first column. And the words sound like this. Da da da, da 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 da.
Memory.
No, that would be
no memorable.
Da da da, da 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 da. Okay. Recognize, recognizable. Recognize, recognizable. It's it's always when you start thinking about it, sometimes it gets worse, doesn't it? You suddenly can't hear the stress at all.
Exactly.
I'm terrible with that sort of thing. I can't.
The more you say it.
You start doubting yourself. I remember listening to a group of new teachers on CELTA once in a study centre going, chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Oh no, and they just couldn't hear it. Anyway, okay, so a bit of pronunciation then. Let's just do for the first couple. I'm going to model one of the sounds, one of the words. I'll do this. When I do this, can you please repeat it? So we see if we can make a nice choir or a messy noise, we'll see. So access.
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 Thank you, Glenn. Okay, let's try that again. Access.
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 Accessible.
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 Confide.
Confide.
Confident.
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 Good. Okay, just to get the idea. Lovely. So can you say this one for me, Tatiana?
Access.
Lovely. Thank you very much. And Lyubov, can you say this one?
Accessible.
Thank you. Natalia?
Confide.
Thank you. And this one, please, Lucille?
Confident.
Very nice. Thank you very much. Okay. So obviously it's important for learners to recognise, isn't it, that the word stress changes when we add suffixes. Okay, let's do a little bit of practice before we finish. So this will be the last thing that we do. So if you look at your handout, it is, I believe, in fact, let's bring it up here. It's exercise 5. Yeah, we can do that. So I want you to just have a look at these sentences here. You need to fill these questions with one word from this table. So it's one of the words with the suffix and you need to add it to the questions. And I'd like you please to think of one additional question that you could ask somebody in your group or your partner using one of the other words with a suffix. So fill the gap and think of one question please that you can ask. And I'm only going to give you 1 minute for that because I know that you'll be super quick.
And I'm sorry, so should we think of another question on the same topic as the questions? Or...
Can be any topic you like, it's absolutely fine.
Oh, so, okay, so just
any
just,
topic is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, are you sporty? Anything like that is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, don't worry if you've not done all of them, that's fine. Right, question number 1 then. Who would like to answer that? Can you stick your hand up for me? Thank you, Lucille.
Microphone. Accessible.
Okay, let's see.
For user.
Lovely. Question number 2, hands up. Lyubov?
Memorable moments.
Okay, number 3, somebody else?
Okay, so sporty.
Yeah. Sorry, Tatiana, I didn't hear.
Sporty.
Lovely. And Natalia, you put your hand up. Do you want to do number 4?
This is the trickiest one for me, actually.
Okay.
Constant? I don't know, guys. What should be there?
No, I think maybe it's recognizable.
Ah, recognizable, of course. Sorry.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, no, you're right.
Yeah.
That is a tricky one. That is a tricky one. Okay, let's see if we're correct. Ooh. Now we'll talk about that.
Accessible, yeah.
I think accessible is absolutely fine. Yeah.
Suitable.
Let's show all. Oh, come on, show all the answers. Clear. So it says suitable. But I think accessible was my answer, so they're both correct, aren't they? They're both fine. Memorable, sporty, and recognisable. Very good. Okay, in the chat box, again, privately, can you send to me the question that you're going to ask the people in your group, please?
How many should we make? Like two? So okay.
Just
One
one
or two?
question is
One.
fine. Yeah, if you have more, that's absolutely fine. But for the purposes of this task and the fun, and we're going to finish in 2 minutes, so that's a good question, Lucille.
Teacher question.
It is a teacher question, but that's all right. Oh, very nice, Tatiana. Yeah. If only we all knew. I'm going to say not teach is probably the answer.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's a good question, Glenn. Yeah. With lockdown, it's quite hard to think. Okay, yeah, very similar question, Natalia. Thank you very much. Lovely. Okay. Right, I'm going to put you into breakout rooms. Can you ask, don't worry about the questions in the exercise. Can you just ask the questions that you created? 2 minutes, and then we'll come back. Okay. Sorry, everyone, I cut that a little bit short because of time. We need to finish. So, but thank you very much. Thank you for the questions. I wish I could have heard more about what you found about trickies about teaching and so on. It's interesting. Thank you. Just to share with you then what would happen next in a lesson that we don't have time for today. So again, thinking about your handout, you can see that obviously we've basically introduced the topic, engaged learners in the topic. There's been some listening practice and also looking at suffixes, because that is obviously useful it's in real life, but in the exam it's tested in part 3. So students are obviously going to do the exam task, but before that, because this is a semi-intensive course where we have a bit more time, I'm actually going to go to the exam boost, which is the material at the back of the book. So if you go down to your 4th page, you'll be able to see what material comes with the exam file. So basically for each exam task, you have what we call the exam boost page. And then if you scroll down to the page after that, you have the sort of page that talks all about the task. So section D of the exam boost page is prefixes over and under. So this is page 6 of the exam boost. So here it extends the students' understanding of affixation. So we can do some work. We had the word sleep, and we can think about oversleeping. So that's where I would bring that in, ask students if they can think of a different word with sleep, where they can add something to it to change the meaning. So we do this particular exercise here, and then we might again get students making some sentences about themselves with these particular words, and then they can share them in the breakout room. Then following on from that, we would go back to the coursebook page, and they would do the exam task. And here you'll see that they are tested on some of the words that they looked at in this lesson. Now, they're not all words that come from this lesson, because obviously in an exam task, you'd have a range of words. You wouldn't just have adjectives with suffixes. So some of the words are brought in from previous lessons in the book, so it's recycling vocabulary. And then there is a discussion task afterwards where students are obviously going to extend their discussion about the use of emojis. Now I would, going down to the final page of your handout, I would probably, because it's unit 8 of the course, I would probably use this nice checklist here. So the idea is that when students do the exam task, they go through and they think about their strategy and how they approached it, and they, tick off, did they do things or not? And then of course that's a nice discussion point for students to talk about, well, is it important to do that or not? Does it work for you? Does it not work for you? And so on. So I would refer to the exam file in that particular lesson. So just very, very briefly then, just a reminder of what we did. So these were the objectives of the session. So by the end of the lesson, the students will hopefully be able to complete that exam task using some of the words that they've learnt. This was the semi-intensive lesson of the 4 sort of different types. And the idea with that is that you use here the exam course book and the exam file. You can use the exam trainer for homework, but in class you would use these 2 materials here. And of course, you've also got the interactive course ebook, which students would have. You had a handout and a flip book with some of the pages on, but students would have an interactive ebook. And there is also an ebook of the trainer as well for you to use. And that's the key thing, really. So I don't know if anyone has any questions or you'd like to say anything or...
We are fine. Thank you so much. What I really liked in all of these sessions, I would like to share that using this word wall for this kind of, not very exciting tables. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I like this structured way of putting things. Yeah. But I figure not everybody is that structured. So just changing it slightly, modifying, just doing it with a twist, with a twitch, as we call it. So that would be, more interactive, and so I like this one, and I think that would be my main takeaway from all these sessions.
Lovely.
So thank you so much for sharing.
That's okay.
I have a question on something you said before. when we were doing the activity with the adjectives, you said that looking at a word box can be tricky for some people.
Yeah, so that was a tip from the dyslexia notes, from the teacher's notes. So basically for dyslexic learners, it can be quite difficult to read when they've got, when you've got lots of words in a row, but they're not creating a sentence because the words can move around. So actually, apparently having it in a list that's nicely spaced out can be much more useful. It's also better for dyslexic learners not to have sentences that go over a page, so it can be better to have it on one page, but so having a list. So that's why I shared that in the chat box.
That's really interesting
to demonstrate that. Yeah. Yes, Glenn.
A couple of questions related more to the structure of the book. The exam boost and the exam file. What are we differentiating there? Because I think they're both referring to the booklet at the back of the book.
They are. So the exam file is the name of the book, you're right. And the exam boost is just the page that gives a bit of extra material for that exam task. Okay. So for that use of English, there's some additional affixation type tasks that you can use to boost your lessons in the course book. So that's where the difference between, a semi-intensive and an intensive lesson comes in. In an intensive lesson, you just do the course book page. Whereas if you do if you've got a bit more time, you'd probably access that exam file and use that exam boost page.
So then regarding if you were to then set homework, because there's the exam trainer as well, right?
So does
the exam, because with other course books, normally there's a workbook which links to the unit. Does the exam trainer do that in the same way? Or is it?
So it does. So at the bottom of the page, you should see a link to the page for the exam trainer, I believe. Yeah. So the exam trainer can be a standalone book used in its own right, but we've also linked to material within that so that learners have different homework from it if it's used as a workbook.
So then the stuff on that page, like in this case, it's page 17, I guess, exercises 9 to 10, it says, that would be related to the topic that we've covered in here, but done in an exam format, I guess.
It's done in a sort of workbooky exam format, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, good.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to go because I've got in 4 minutes, I've got to do another lesson. Are any of you coming to that lesson?
I'm coming to the next one. Yeah.
So me too.
Apologies if I'm late because I've got to open about 10 pages.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
It's okay. It was
anyway,
great.
thank you so much for coming, and I'll see some of you in a moment. But for those of you that I won't see, thank you, and have a lovely evening and a wonderful weekend. And if you do have any questions, just please get in touch with your Pearson rep, and they'll be able to help you.
Okay,
great. Lovely.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for. Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Bye.